All right, so basically when I'm describing the difference between what is and what isn't a true experiment, we really stress the importance that there must be one variable in the study that is under the complete control of the experimenter or the researcher. So when we're talking about a variable that the researcher controls, it's going to be some comparison variable. So typical to most experiments, we want to look at does treatment 1 differ from treatment 2, differ from treatment 3, and which one's the best, okay? So we're making these comparison categories, but what we're really looking for is that these categories are under the complete control of the researcher. So it's something that I can actually randomly assign people into. So if it's different forms of therapy, you can see that that's something that I can clearly control, and I can randomly say, as people come into my study one by one, you're randomly going to be in this group, or this group, or this group. And everybody in the study will be able to fall into any of the groups. So it's just a random placement, okay? The thing that confuses most students is that there are other studies that will use comparison variables, but they'll do it on something like comparing males to females, okay? So if I'm looking at males and females, even though it looks like an independent variable and it's a comparison group, that's not something that I as a researcher can control, okay? So I can't have you guys come to my study and as soon as someone shows up, randomly assign you to be either a male or a female. That's completely out of my control, okay? Also, when you come into these kind of studies, you can only fit into one of the groups. So it's not going to be possible for a person to be in this group or this group. They're going to fall only within one. Okay, other examples of that are personality characteristics, introversion, extroversion. It's common to see people compare those groups to one another, but that's not under the control of the researcher. Okay, so another example of something that I could control is maybe where you study. If I'm interested in if location has an effect on memory, I could tell you to go study in the library, go study in the cafeteria, or go study at home. And I have complete control over where I'm telling you to study. In addition, you could be equally placed or equally likely to be placed in the home group, in the library group, or in the cafeteria group. Okay, so everybody would be able to fall into all those comparison groups. So you really need to look at what variables being compared in the experiment that you find and whether or not the researcher is actually randomly assigning participants to that variable or not. Okay, if there's anything I need to ask these participants in order to find out what group they would fall into, then it's not under my control. Okay, I would have to ask people, are you a male or are you female? Okay, if I wanted to do it by age group and I wanted to do teenagers and young adults, I'd have to ask them, how old are you? Okay, if I need to get any information from them beforehand, I'm not going to be able to randomly assign it. Okay, so it has to be under the complete control of the experimenter. Some other examples might be time. If I'm going to give you 1 hour to study or 2 hours or 3 hours to study and I want to see if there's a difference there, I can control that. I can completely control how many hours you get to study. So that would be a comparison group that I have complete control over. So when you're looking at this, a lot of studies will have these individual characteristics that are inherent in the subject themselves, like their age or their gender or their personality characteristics, even their lifestyle. So were they raised in a single parent household or a double parent household? These are all factors that we can look at psychologically, but we can't control them. Okay, I have no control over that. So in order for any experiment to be a true experiment, there must be at least just one variable that the researcher has complete control over. Okay, so something like the study location, where I'm going to have you study. So if it's in the classroom or the library. And that's something that I can completely control.